Hey, this is Scott from Good Book Explorer coming to you again from within the canyon in North Texas. You have to forgive us, there's some birds squawking here in the background, but a bunch of beautiful birds here and wild turkeys. Just saw some big old toms. It's just a great park. If you love God's creation and love nature, it's just a haven to come to and look at the animals and the rocks and the features of the park. But anyway, we're continuing on with the book of James. James has just finished up talking about the royal law and following the royal law, and how that we need to love others as we love ourselves. And he talks about if you break one law, you've kind of broken them all. He kind of ends that section. I didn't touch on this in the last video, but he kind of ends that section talking about granting mercy to people and not being so judgmental. And we need to, be gracious to other people. He kind of ends that passage in that way. I didn't not want to mention that, but he does have a little section there about being merciful and being forgiving others who maybe don't do exactly as we think they should. Then James begins a section that James is known for, and probably most people, when they think about the book of James, they'll think about this next section, where James makes a bold statement and says that faith without works is dead. And he goes on and continues. We'll talk about that a little more, but even Martin Luther had a little problem with this because of just the fact that our faith is what saves us, our faith in Jesus, and that's it. But even Paul talked about how we only need faith. So some people think that Paul and James are in direct opposition in their teachings. I don't think they are. I think they're saying the exact same thing, that faith is what is required of us, but that faith without works is dead. It's kind of like me saying that I have faith that I can dunk a basketball, and I believe that with all my heart, and I will go around telling people that I can, dunk a basketball. But then finally someone says, well, prove it. Let's see proof of your faith. And then I, of course, try to do that. I'm going to fail doing that because I can't do that. It's kind of the same parallel that James is saying, that without an outward expression of that faith, something he calls works, other place in the Bible it's called fruit. If there's not any fruit, then there's something wrong. The works is the proof of our salvation. Are you saved by faith? Yes. How do you prove that? Well, that's through your works. There should be something that follows that. So we need to be careful with that, with someone that says, yes, I have faith in Jesus, but then there's no change whatsoever. And that's kind of the whole point of James, the book, is just looking at that, figuring out, first of all, do we have evidence of that? And then looking at others and seeing if there's any evidence of that. James continues this little section where he's talking about, faith without works is dead. And he includes how we treat others. And he says, if you do have faith, how is it that you can walk by your brother or your sister in need and not do anything for them? How is that possible? Can you do that? Can you have faith in Jesus and not see that your friend, your neighbor has a need and then not meet that need? That's very telling, because what we do, especially with others, is very telling on our faith. Is there actual fruit there? Is there something that you can hang your hat on? In my earlier case, talking about me dunking a basketball, if I can't dunk a basketball, then all that faith I had in being able to do that is dead. And that's exactly what James is saying. He's saying, if you have faith in Jesus, if you are a Christian, there's going to be some fruit along the way. There's going to be something that people can hang their hat on. There's going to be something that they can say, yes, Scott is what he says he is because of his actions. Here James is again being very blunt and to the point, but being very truthful so that we can look and see there's fruit there. Something is going on. So just remember that in your own life, remember that in others. If there's fruit, there's probably faith. Guys, we will see you next time. Thank you so much for listening. All right, bye-bye.